Alright, if you're here and you saw the thumbnail, then you can probably guess what we're doing here. This car, we're going to make it stop better, and we're going to make it handle better. But not just that, we're going to upgrade it. Because not only did I get these quick strut coilovers for the front, which I had no choice, I couldn't get just the shock alone. I got these racing springs that are going to lower it approximately 1 inch on every corner. I got new shocks, I got new brakes, I got new drums. Guys, these were not easy to get. I swear, man, if you need brake drums for these things, I mean, internet or Napa, that's your choice. You guys, look at this box the rotor came in. Look at this, man. This tape, it's no longer tape. The adhesive is now, I mean, it's like, I don't know, part of the box now, but definitely not adhering anymore. Is it weird that I want to preserve this? I mean, you can definitely tell this is old. It's just been sitting in a warehouse for years. For years, waiting for me to buy it. I mean, how many people need these brake parts for these cars? I'm not sure. I'll try to get this all knocked out in one weekend, if that is at all possible. It's supposed to be nice. It already is. But we're going to start with the front. It's the easiest because it's got the disc brakes up front, the quick struts, and I rented spring compressors to take these off because, I mean, if you know, you know, these things are under tension. It even gives you this warning label that says so. Let me see. Yeah. There you go. And you've probably seen idiots trying to remove these without spring compressors, and then the thing flies across the shop. That can unalive you or seriously injure you if not careful. I also got these front sway bar end links. They're universal. These are differential mounts. When we get to the rear, I got a whole driveline mounting package, and these are for the differential. I also got transmission mount and motor mount, but we're going to get to those another time. We're just going to focus on the front suspension and brakes, and then when we get to the rear, we're going to do the rear suspension and brakes. And also differential mounts. We also got CV axle seals and new wheel bearings. And of course, brake parts. Of course, we're not going to get anything done first without getting the car lifted up into the air. Okay, got her up in the air. Time to start zipping lug nuts out. And get a load of that brake surface. That is abysmal. That is a native changing yesterday. So, I'll get on that. So the brake caliper on this side is only held in with one T50. And then the other one's a slide pin. If it seems loose, that's because I already loosened it and I knocked the camera over at the same time. Alright. Looks typically need a screwdriver to get this going. There we are. Oh. There I go, knocking the camera over again. Okay, there's a better angle to show you, so I don't keep knocking the camera over. Okay. Now, oh, forgot my caliper hanging tool. Great. Let's see if I can just carefully place it down. Right there. That's sketchy. Should get a piece of copper wire or hanger tool to put that up, but let's check out the brake pads. Not the worst. There's still plenty of meat on them. I don't remember the last time when I did these brakes, but oh, they're getting replaced anyway. And then I believe there's a couple of bolts to get this bracket off, but I'm gonna have to go find my my caliper hanger or a piece of copper wire. Alright, so I found a bungee cord is what I did, and I got this thing tied up. I hope it holds it. It should work for now while I get the rest of everything else here I need apart. Okay, so something very alarming we just found. These bolts on both sides on the bottom caliper, they started backing themselves out because we can turn them with our fingers. That is not good. That is not good at all. We're gonna have to make sure that's tight when it goes back together. Thread locker. Top one was tight, and I just broke it loose, and it's still tight coming out. Wow. All right, this one's gonna be a fight all the way out. Get this bracket out of the way, and the old rotor. I don't think it's time to turn our attention to that sway bar end link, which is right there. That nut right down, attached to the sway bar, right there. Just give it a little tap. That was more than a little tap. Now, before I continue with that, I think I'm just going to get the top of the steering knuckle unbolted. That way I can, I'm going to have to get the strut out anyway. Alright, I'm going to jump ahead to unbolting this strut, because it looks like it'll be easier to get this other end of the tie rod undone, because this thing is stuck. So with that strut out of the way, I can hammer on it and get it out and get the new tie rod on. It, aren't I? They're lefty tighty, righty loosey. How this works. Alright, and we're probably gonna have to use a smaller jack to lift up on this to get this hardware undone. But I think I'm gonna go up and undo the 3 bolts, or the 3 nuts on top right now. The 3 nuts on top. Getting this bottom strut bolt out. Let's see. Probably still gonna have to. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice. Very nice. Couldn't have asked for that to go better. Actually, it would have only gone better if it come apart on its own. But that's not the magical world we live in. Now, how difficult is it to get this quick strut out? Probably hard, now that I'm looking at it. Just upon initial examination, it looks like I might have to remove this upper control arm and undo it at the ball joint there. I hope it doesn't come to that. I'm gonna look at it a little closer, but it looks like that's what I might have to do. Not that it's a big deal to take this apart, that's all easy stuff, but I'm trying to avoid taking apart as much as I can anything that doesn't necessarily have to come apart, you know. So I was able to finagle the caliper rather easily through this space in between the strut and the knuckle, and I found this crate to put it on rather than trying to hang it up somewhere, so that's convenient. Alright, so I guess I'm stupid. I set up the camera and I thought I recorded that, but I didn't. But yeah, getting that top ball joint did help us get the quick strut out. Wow, that is in there. Okay. It's like the two are one piece. Wow. Of all the complications to happen, I did not foresee this one. Got it out. Just requires a lot of hammering. And just look how far apart we got everything here. This is as far apart as we need to go to get the new parts in. Do not ask me how long it took to get these spring compressors on. It was quite the process. They're on now. I'm going to begin compressing the spring. See how far along this is now? Nope. still... Oh. I got another problem going on here. The screw is starting to run into the top of the strut. Damn. I may have to reposition these. Okay, so after readjusting the spring compressors and seeking out a socket to fit this, guys, this fitting up here is 9 millimeters. Can you believe that? Who uses a 9 millimeter? But anyway, got the spring compressed, got it off. Now comes the fun. Oh, this socket won't come off of here either. That's a part of that until I take this apart. So now I got to get that apart without hurting or possibly unaliving myself, and then possibly put myself in more danger compressing the other spring to put on it. Check that out. That is plain as day. This is stock ride height. This is 1 inch lowered. Hopefully that'll make it easier putting it on with it being shorter. Well, with the spring compressors and all. At least I hope it will be. Well, it took some doing, but check that out. That is a thing of beauty right there. Too bad. Not gonna see it once it's on the car. Unless you look really closely through the wheel well. Yep, time to hide it in there now. Look at those shiny hardwares. I needed some help getting this started, but I fed this thing in through. Got it stuck in there. Now I just need to start putting this all back together, along with the new brakes and the new sway bar. Sway bar end link, I should say. Alright, so check this out. This is probably really stupid, but the way I got these spring compressors on here, as you can see, they don't just fit in between. Even if you go to a lower loop or it's spaced more apart, it just doesn't fit. So I actually was taking a pry bar, holding the thing with my knees like this, and prying the coils apart. Look at this. Takes a bit of prying, but you pry them apart just enough. I can't hold the camera and do it at the same time, but you pry them apart just enough to wedge these in there, and then you work it around all the way to the top, and you do the same thing with the bottom ones. You only have to do it to get it on here to compress it. Then when you get it off and decompress it, it should be spread out apart to come apart and not have to pry against it. So, sounds stupid, but it's better than just undoing this nut and having the thing shoot off like a bullet. Alright, we're running out of daylight here. We had an unforeseen complication on the passenger side. The slide pin for the caliper was waterlogged and rusted and seized, and I'm gonna need a new caliper on that side, but it's now starting to go together. I got the quick strut reassembled with the lower spring on the other side. I've got it in over here, as you can see. Time for the brakes and everything to start going back together. Oh, also got the sway bar end link back in. That's right, I'm gonna put that back. then there you go. As you can see, it's starting to get dark. It actually looks darker in person than it does on the camera. He's getting this side finished up, and that'll be it for today. Tomorrow we're going to start on the back side, and that's going to be a while for us, but for you it's going to be a couple of second jump. It's the next day here. It's a really nice day for this. Continuing on with the Cougar. First thing to get started is we got to loosen both of those top shock nuts. I know that one that I took from the 97 is going to come loose because I already did that one before, but I'm willing to bet that's original hardware, just like the rest of the rear suspension on this car. Taking bets now on how much this hardware is going to, you know, cooperate with us and come apart. I'm hoping it does. It probably won't. Luckily I knew right where this was because I'd used it yesterday. Oh no. No, it's turning the top part. No, it's not good. Oh man. We're gonna have to get the vice grips. Camera's recording. Got vice grips on. Sitting at a horrible angle. Let's do this. Hit the vice grips. Let's see. That cooperates now. Oh my god. It doesn't. What a shocker. Okay. Let's continue this. Let's see if this works. Totally seems like it's working. Metal banging into metal. This is work getting done. Hit the vice grips again. Before I hit the tripod. This is... Oh my god, come on. Well, hey, it's working. Oh man, this is hurting my shoulder sitting like this. But this is working. Oh. There we go. First one down. One more to go. One that I've not taken apart yet. Of course it turns. So, let's see how well this works again. Ow. Oh, it turned a little. Man, this really hurts. Oh man, I need more leverage. Go big wrench on little wrench method. Oh, it's working. It's working just enough. Oh no. I can see the thing spinning in the vice grip. Let's see if I can't get the vice grip a little tighter first. Okay. Yeah. There we go. A little tighter. Back to big wrench on little wrench method. I said big wrench on little wrench method. Alright. Try once more to tighten the vice grip just a little more. Oh my. Okay, it hurt putting it on, so that's got to account for something. Today's all about pain. Cars are pain, you know? Somebody said that once. I don't remember who. Come on. Please work. Please work so I can stop doing this at this angle. Hey, I think it did it. Come on. Give me another turn. Yes. Finally got the vice grip tight enough, I think. I'm inside the trunk with everything else. Good news is it's working. All I really ask of it. This is still really tough to turn. Alright, I just felt it come a bit looser. Maybe it's running out of threads to be seized onto. I think we're going to hit the vice grip soon. Wow, it's still going. Hasn't hit the vice grip yet. I'm not going to lie to you people, this is not fun right now. This is not good on my back sitting in this position. Getting too old for this. Okay, we just hit the vice grip. See if I can... hit the vice grip again. There we go. Finally, it is free. Oh, by the way, I bought this wrench years ago as a set of big wrenches. I have not ever used it for anything other than what I just did right here. I've only ever used it for the wrench on wrench method when you need a little more leverage getting these things out. I've never had to undo a 32mm nut or bolt. It's never come up. Both of these little jacks just about maxed out. I got the jack stands under them, but because I undid the shocks, the wheels are still on the ground. So at this point I'm just gonna have to get another jack, lift up the control arm from back here to get the wheel off the ground, and then I can get back to work on the suspension. First thing we should start with, now that the whole back end is off the ground, is probably get these old shocks out of the way and start taking apart the drum brakes. But another thing I just remembered, that when you do brakes like this, do remember to take the, where is it? Right there. Parking brake off. It's definitely a good idea to do that while the car is on jacks and jack stands. So, for some of you younger mechanics who've never seen this, this is a drum brake. I'm going to show you how these come apart, because they are a lot of fun. But this shock keeps getting in the way, and yep, might have to give it the old foot-pounds of torque method. Yes. Hardware intact.
Hey,
I'm gonna need this.
I believe it.
Now for the drum removal. See how well this goes. Oh wow. Huh. Okay. Not nearly as bad as I thought. Now, these drums can be in better shape, but I'm going to hold on to them because they're hard to get, and these may be resurfaceable and reusable. So, they're not scrap metal just yet. They're just going to go off to the side. But then you should see a setup like this, and this is where the fun begins. Check this out. The spring here on the left side, right there at the bottom at the cup, it's broken. So, another good reason that I'm replacing these springs. But now I'm going to focus on the brakes. Show you how these come apart. And of course, this is definitely the right tool for this job. These things come out like this. These things come out like this. Gotta what the heck, it's right there. There we go. Oh, and basically what I'm doing is I'm holding this backing here and then using this to push this thing down. Then you got to turn it about 90 degrees and it comes out. There we go. So now I believe we turn our attention to this top spring right here. This white one. And if you're doing drum brakes like this for the first time, you're going to want to take pictures or maybe video of this, just in case you forget how it all goes back together. And again, like I said, I'm definitely using the right tool for this job. Definitely. This is definitely the correct way of doing it. There we go. There we go. Here was that. Here's a little adjuster that goes on the end of this thing. Right there, that's where that went. And this spring was hooked here. Now we can remove the adjustment screw. I think. Okay. That part just got lost. No, there it is. Adjuster screw. Now, I want to be careful this thing, that there's not biting into the boots on this cylinder right here. The brake cylinder. So I'm glad these are not leaking because I didn't buy new ones. I was hoping they would still be good, and they are. But continuing, I got one more spring removal. Oh wait, I think if I remember correctly, this can just come out like this. Yeah, somewhat. There we go. Just a little bit of force, and then, oh. Alright, oh, there we go. See? That's the drum brakes apart. Bang, into the tripod. But here was the front half with this spring, and it's key to note when it goes back together, that this red spring went around the back of this and then through that hole right there. But now this can all come apart. One more little clip here to remove this brake shoe. I think I need my bigger screwdriver. Or maybe I can make this one work. There we go. It's definitely, like I said, the right way to do it. This little clip. Oh. Also, this was here behind it. Not behind the clip, but between this and the brake shoe here. Here was all the springs, how they were set up here. Springs, the tensioner, and the little tensioner adjuster arm were on the shoes when they were on this. And then of course this was up here like this, and this little tab here was also right here. And this, if you can see, there's a little gap here. It's because it's meant to hold the thickness of both this and this. Undo this 13mm nut here, but I think I'm going to need to jack this back up just like we did with the tire to actually get it out of here. Or maybe not.
Nice. You just did what I was trying to do.
Cool. Very cool. Look at that. The suspension basically decompressed. So much closer to getting the spring out. It's a broken one on this side especially. The other one on that side ain't broken, but this one is. Looks like to get this spring completely unseated, we're going to have to undo these two bolts and nuts at the lower control arm and knuckle right behind the brakes. But I think also we should probably get this CV axle nut off. Or at least try to. Well, it happened. We got to stop what we're doing and run to a parts store / tool store to get a deep 35mm nut for that. So, I'm going to stop, clean all this stuff up, and we'll come back and resume filming. There's been a screw up, and we got to take a few steps back and put the car back together enough to get the wheel on it, because that CV axle nut, I got the right tool now after a quick trip to the parts store and quick lunch. I got the right, it actually is a CV axle nut for all-wheel drive cars, but you know, this will work for this independent suspension. But it's, you can't just turn it with it hanging in the air like this. The wheel has to be on it and on the ground to have enough resistance to break it loose, plus all this corrosion. I tried to take a wire brush to it and get as much off of there as I could, but you know, that only goes so far. So now I got to pick this oh, what happened? Oh, there we go. So now I got to pick this back up to put these bolts back in here, so I can put and probably put the drum back on it too. I don't have to put the brakes back together, but I can put the drum back on it so I can put the wheel back on it, zip it down, put the wheel back on the ground so I can break this CV axle nut loose. So this will be fun. There's a nice breeze picking up. Alright, so I only have to get the bolt in. I don't really have to get the nut in. It doesn't have to go back together. But, oh, there we go. Looks like I got it almost all the way in. Same with this end. See what happens if I pick it up. Sorry if the wind is messing up the mic. There's not really much I can do about that. Okay, the front one's in. Back one, how far up? Oh, it's through there, but it's not. There we go. Just took a little bit of force. A little less than foot-pounds. It took a little bit of hand-pound. Now, I gotta lift it up enough to get the wheel back on it. I guess I should get the drum on too. This will just kind of have to sit there. Let's see how well this this will stay without the brake parts. Should at least go on and off easy. There we are. So as you can see, the center of the wheel is way above the hub that's hanging there. So I don't think we have to get it off the jack stands. We just have to get this jacked up enough to get the wheel on and then take the jack out so it's resting on it. Hopefully that'll be enough to break the CV axle nut loose. Alright, if this doesn't do it, I don't know what will. Wait, I should do it putting my body weight on it. Oh, it's coming. Alright, so repeat for this side worked. CV axle nut came off just as easily. Now we're back on track. Okay, so now I got a completely whole new unrelated problem. I went into this car to get something out. I dropped the key down there and it disappeared. The car ate it. I don't see, focus, I don't see it. I felt all around underneath. I felt between here. It is not in there. What the hell? I forget. It's a good thing I don't have to go anywhere in this car right now because the freaking seat ate the freaking key. Can you believe that? Now I got a whole nother project as soon as I'm done dealing with this car right here. I gotta freaking pull this seat out and find out what happened to that key. Cooling off real nice out here. Alright, so check out what I got going on here. I got the red jack supporting the lower control arm, while the screw jack is supporting the wheel hub and the backing plate of the drum brake. So let's see what it's going to take. Is this lower control arm going to come down? Let it down. Hopefully the spring doesn't fly out and cause damage. Alright, bring it down slowly. Okay. Let's see the problem. Coming down on the start controller now, isn't it? Yeah. Alright. Pressure back off a little bit. See if I can pull this out a little more. Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna have to screw this up a little further, huh? There we go. Now that lower control arm should come down. And let's see here. Watch that spring, see what it does. Hopefully when it comes to full extension it should just release and come out. Hopefully. Well, look at that. Ah, still, it's not really any more tension on it, but it needs a little more leeway. I don't know what it is. Maybe we just gotta loosen these bushings. I don't know, but this spring is so close to coming out. Come on. Forced them down a little more. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Would you look at that? The old foot-pounds of torque worked again. And look at that. There's the broken link at the bottom of the spring. Look at that. That's just been Look at that. That's just been there like that. Unreal. Unreal. Unreal that this thing was still sitting at stock ride height. Alright, so the isolators actually don't look bad. I should get new ones, but if I'm gonna reuse these, I mean, I guess it's not the worst thing. I mean, they still have their shape. They're not crumbling. They're still flexible. So that's good. Now the next question is, can we get this thing in? Or can we get the other one? Actually, it's a lowering spring, should be easier. So this is super sketchy what I got going on here. I got the screw jack holding this thing up at a severe angle. I started tapping on that with a hammer to get it started because that CV axle did not want to come out, but as you can see now, it's coming. Slowly but surely. Hopefully I can get it out without incident. So still some room for... Oh, I think it's most likely out. Maybe, not sure. Yep. Oh, there we go. Free from the hub. Now, I'm gonna get this up out of the way to get the seat, or maybe I should just get the knuckle out of the way now. I don't know if you can hear it, but the Army is flying overhead. Luckily, this isn't binding up the brake line or the. Oh, come on. All right. The other end should just pop out. Right? Right against it. Or maybe, wait. I think I found room. Oh yeah, there it goes. It's free. Yeah. All right. That's the driver's side CV axle out. Now, repeat for other side. Alright, so I decided I'm not going to try and change out the wheel bearing. I'm not sure if I got the wrong part or what, but it looks different from that. This, I mean, when I took this thing off and looked in the back, I don't know if you can see it there, but the wheel bearing does match the diameter on the insides, but this, it's got bolts around here that you can't, with the Torx bit, you can't put Torx on because this is in the way, and the outside's a 15 millimeter. I tried to break these loose, but I'm afraid I'm just going to strip them because I can't put the box end of the wrench on them because they're too close to this. There's just too much weirdness going on here. I'm going to have to look into this further to see if this is something I can even do. But, so I'm going to forego the wheel bearings for now and focus on everything else. Right now, I'm going to get in there and see how well my new seal puller works on that inner axle seal. Where are we? Okay, there we go. And action. Okay, I think I got. Okay, I think that's it. Okay. This way. I hope I'm doing this right. Oh, there we go. It's starting to come now. Oh, there we go. Almost knocking the camera over. I keep feeling it bend. Come on. Okay, so you know what worked better at getting that CV axle seal out was actually the hammer and flathead screwdriver method. I mean, the seal puller only did so much. It deformed it, but the hammer and the big flathead screwdriver really finished it off. Now, differential cover off, which includes getting this mount undone, because the differential cover is actually part of the mount in this car. But I think I actually have to just take out these 2 bolts. But I don't know, we'll see. Okay, the differential is now hanging. That cover is still sealed on it somehow. Maybe we should just drop it as a whole unit, then crack it open.
Could do that.
Let's do that. Alright, so here's what happened. We're trying to get this differential out of here. We got gear oil pouring out of it through one of the axle seals. We started lowering it down. It started to twist because part of it's caught on the exhaust up there. I don't know if you can see it. And then the other end's being supported by this jack. So that's where we stand currently. And we're starting to run out of daylight again, so I don't know if we're going to get this finished. I don't know if I'm going to get it all filmed, but I'm going to do what I can, people. Do what I can to show you everything that's done here. We got the whole differential out of the car, and even though there's no bolts on that cover, this thing is still holding together. So we're just gonna crack it open right there, and I guess just pop the seals in it while it's out will be the easiest thing to do. And yeah, I'll let you see that when it's all done. I'm also starting to run out of room on my phone's memory, so I don't know again how much more I'm gonna get recorded, but I'll keep you guys updated as best I can. Alright, well, it's getting pretty late, and we hit a snag. We got the differential out. It's in the trunk right there, and it turns out the axle seals I bought are the wrong ones. So we can't finish this up tonight. So we're putting it together enough. I got the new springs in, new shocks in, got the drums mounted back on the hub. That way we can put the wheels back on it, put it on the ground. Nobody in the neighborhood complains. And then tomorrow I'm going to try to find the right axle seals because, well, I can't put it together without them. So this clip is coming to you from the future somewhat. Turns out my editing software will only let me make a video that's an hour long, and my last one ran longer than usual. So stay tuned for part 2 where we finish up the work, plus fix a couple of other problems for parts I got, plus test drive. See you in the next one.